Welcome to the Copper King Mine and Railroad. Today we're going to talk about the Yampa Smelter. Yes, they built a smelter right in the canyon. We got some pictures of that, and we're going to talk about the Yampa Smelter at Bingham Canyon. So stay tuned. Yampa Smelter. Who builds a smelter in a canyon? Well, that's what they did. They built it right here in Frogtown. Here's a picture of Frogtown before the smelter. Then here's a picture after they built the smelter. You can see it almost the same spot this picture was taken from. The smoke come from the smelter right there. Here's a map of where that Frogtown was. Now it was just below the town of Bingham, just further down from the Denver and Rio Grande Depot, railroad depot there in Frogtown. Now it was built in 1904. Then they upgraded it in 1906. So let's take a look at some of these pictures of this Yampa Smelter right here in the canyon. This is really interesting, I think. I see these old pictures. It only lasted till 1910, so 1904 to 1910, only 6 years. This picture was taken 1908. This one was 1909. You see there's a few little businesses and houses right here, right in front of that smelter. I guess that's where the people lived and stuff. And here's another picture of some more houses up on the hillside, and the smelter's over there to the right. Now it serviced the Yampa Mine, and that was up in Carfork Canyon. Here's a 1908 picture of that Yampa Mine up in Carfork. Then we have some really neat inside pictures taken around the same time, 1908. And you can see it has a aerial tram terminal in there, and that came in 1908. The first ores was brought down by the Copper Belt Railroad. We had a video on the Copper Belt Railroad, which was really interesting. But then early in 1908, they built this aerial tram right into the smelter itself. Here's a picture of them tram lines going right into the smelter. And you see they still have the Copper Belt rail line going into it also. Oh, and there's a train of the Copper Belt and the aerial tram lines right there. These were both taken in 1908. Now, Frogtown was also the home of the other aerial trams. There was 4 up in Bingham. And you can see these big old tram buildings right here in Frogtown and the Yampa Smelter. You see it in the background of this picture. So look all the smoke it's putting into the canyon right here. Now these pictures were taken high above in the canyon. You can see the smoke just filling that whole canyon up. To solve the problem, they built this smokestack that ran all the way halfway up the mountainside. You can see this smokestack running up the mountainside right here. The name Yampa comes from a wild plant of the parsley family. It's native to Central and Western North America. It has an edible root, and it has a cluster of small white flowers somewhat resembling Queen Anne's lace. There's also a river in Colorado named the Yampa. Then we have a 1907 Stanborn Fire Insurance map of the Yampa Smelter and the compound, all the buildings around here. You see that stack going up the mountainside in this one picture, even right here. So I thought that was really cool. Then we just have some pictures of the Yampa Smelter, some more of them. And just interesting to see all these right here. Here's one they made into a postcard. They've colorized it. Then we have a letter right here with the letterhead, the Yampa Smelter Company, and also a return check that was paid to the Yampa Smelter. Then we have some pictures of them working outside the smelter. You see them riding this little train type thing. I guess that was to dump the slag. And then we have some inside pictures. We're lucky we have some inside pictures of this Yampa Smelter. So that's really neat. The interiors of what they did in here. What a rough life it would be to be inside that hot smelter. It said it takes a different breed of people to work in the smelter with all that heat. My grandfather and my great-grandfather both worked in the Midvale Smelter. Gee, I wish I could talk to him now about working there. Anyway, some more pictures of the Yampa Smelter in Frogtown. I just really like these pictures. And here's one you can see the train that came up from the canyon. It's on a turntable right there. It's going to turn around. And then over time, well, they've stopped using it in 1910. And so now we've got some pictures of it just there, not in use in the canyon. This is a passenger train, and you're looking down to if you look down to the left, you see just some of the remains of the Yampa Smelter. And here's some more pictures of just the foundations and what was left there. And we have this newspaper article, this 1940 newspaper article. They're blowing some of the smokestacks here. It was part of this Yampa Smelter. And they'll use the bricks for building the LDS chapel down in Copperton. So that's kind of fun. Now, the Yampa Smelter closed in August of 1910. They had several different reasons why it closed. One is the Yampa Mine couldn't supply enough ore to run the smelter at full capacity. The other reason was it was cheaper to haul the ore down to the smelters than to haul coal and coke and flux up to the smelter. The Yampa Smelter was only used for 6 years, 1904 to 1910. The slag dump lasted a long time and was a reminder that once there was this in the canyon. I remember going past it many times driving back and forth to work this old slag dump. It was right here by Central Yards. Central Yards is where you caught the early morning coach going into the mine, and that would be through the 5840 tunnel. That was part of the Cross Canyon connection, that Central Yard. You see the tunnels they built for that right there in this picture. See the slag dump right there to the left of them. Bingham Canyon is all buried now, all filled in with waste material. And all we have is a few pictures of this smelter they built in the canyon. Who does that? Who builds a smelter in the canyon? This rock right here was part of the slag dump that was once in the smelter, and that was given to me by Larry Sachs. So I guess I have that also. Anyway, that's the story of the Yampa Smelter in Bingham Canyon.